end of the coming week. We'll be very glad if we were doing all of our gardening inside biospheres as well. There is a very wet and very windy week in prospect for many parts of the British Isles, and by the end of the week there will be a radical change. If you want to know what it is, just stay with me for the next 2 or 3 minutes. In the short term, we've got one band of cloud and rain already across the British Isles, something of an interlude, and then lurking over my shoulder. That is Monday's wet and windy weather for the northern half of the British Isles. It's Tuesday's wet and windy weather for the central and southern parts. They're all tied in with a big area of low pressure. Whenever you see that number of isobars, you have to start thinking about windy conditions. Whenever you see the front, start thinking about bands of cloud and rain. We had to get rid of one, you remember. It's just trying to get away from the Northern Isles and the eastern side of the British Isles. It will be away later on this afternoon, but it'll take a time. Following on behind, somewhat drier and brighter conditions, but with a sprinkling of showers as well. With the nature of showers, not everybody will see one. They are quite well scattered. There's nothing too organised about them across much of central southern England, Wales too. It's the odd dotting rather than anything else. A westerly breeze, so despite the fact that it is quite gusty in some places, I don't think it's going to feel particularly cold. 16 in Northern Ireland with the showers, I say 1 or 2, and the winds coming in from the northwest. There may well be more of them up in this northwestern corner of Scotland, but it is as nothing compared to what will move in during the course of tonight and through the first part of tomorrow. That lump of cloud that we saw in the Atlantic with the low pressure will gradually run through. Before it arrives, I think it'll turn quite chilly across the north of Scotland, but with the winds in the west-southwest, it'll be a mild old night in the south, so gardeners, nothing to fear there. Then on Monday we start bringing that set of fronts ever closer towards the British Isles. Notice too the spacing on those isobars across the northern half of the British Isles. Really quite windy conditions there, and really any of these western exposures, not just the western side of Scotland, parts of Northern Ireland, through the Irish Sea, western Wales, perhaps the southwest of England too, feeling the strength of that wind. Not such a problem inland. As soon as the day progresses on Monday, how extensive that rain becomes, and as ever with our graphics, whenever you see the greens and the yellows, start thinking about some really heavy pulses of rain. But as you see, it's not a problem for the Midlands, East Anglia or the South East, where you would probably be very glad of a drop of rain. Take your turn will come. This front keeps moving. On Tuesday, it's across the central and southern parts of the British Isles. Further north again, you see we keep that windy theme going. The isobars still very tightly spaced, and showers rather than anything more persistent perhaps, although away towards the northwest again, perhaps those showers merging together to give longer spells of rain, and something of a respite once the rain band has moved to the southeast for many central and northern areas. Somewhat drier and brighter conditions there, temperatures around about 19. As that front moves away, again we keep the theme going. It's repeating itself time after time with yet another burst of wet and windy conditions. Here, a little area of low pressure, 1